If you're anything like me, you have a huge list of things that have been on your maybe someday list for like ever. Either you want to start writing or meditating or exercising or hell, walking your pet unicorn. BT dubs, I'm jealous. But somehow your days just fill themselves up and they never seem to happen. Well, guess what? It's because you're a creature of habit. That's not a bad thing. And it's time to use that to your favor to build habits and do the things that you want to do. If you want to make room for anything new in your life, whether that's in your job or your personal life or self-care or whatever, you have to make habits out of them. In today's Brighter broadcast, we are talking about tips for building happy habits in your work and life. You can comment by saying hi real quick with a habit that you would love to build, whether that's related to work, self-care, just for fun. We all set goals. We all have wish lists of things we want to do in life, whether it's written down or not. In the back of our minds, we all have a bucket list. The thing about bucket lists is that they're all focused on the end of the story, not on how you get there. Habits are how you make goals happen. I'm not the first person to say that. Don't credit that to me. But it's true. If you know my story at all, then you know that a while, I guess like 2 years ago now, I was having serious health issues and my mindset just around work and life and balance was so messed up that there was no way I was going to get healthy without really changing and overhauling my lifestyle. And that seems like a big undertaking, right? Completely overhaul your lifestyle. How I ended up being able to make it happen was through just completely overhauling my daily habits from the second I wake up in the morning to when I go to bed at night. That was how I started taking medication more consistently for my chronic illness and mental health. That is how I started journaling and meditating when I needed to in order to seriously reduce anxiety. And just so many other things that I never would have gotten healthy and learned to manage my different personal issues without healthy habits. And the same thing goes for my job. Like it's really hard to manage a to-do list when you're sick or when you're stressed or when you're depressed. And having that habit on autopilot really cakes that in there for you. So this past month in the Work Brighter Clubhouse, which is my membership program, we have been helping each other build new habits. The thing that I'm working on is journaling again because I had such a good journaling habit and I let it drop. We have someone else looking to get back into working out, and we have a few people looking to meditate. So all different types of habits, and I'm noticing a lot of things standing in our way that we all have in common. We're all messing up in the same ways, and so I figured I needed to come on here and talk about it too. It's also just been really great timing to look into habits because a really popular productivity author, James Clear, he came out with a book on building habits. I'm reading that right now, and first of all, yay me, because I'm finding that the way that this expert who dug into all of the science and spoke to actual experts are finding stuff very similar to what I have found based on my own experience and stuff in the group. So the challenge that I put together for building habits is actually pretty similar to what is suggested in this book. Here's the thing. When you read a book by a productivity expert that's like traditionally published and all that, it's not going to have that Bieberg Work Brighter flair to it. So that book is kind of how to build like healthy habits, smart habits, strategic habits. This is how to build brighter, glittery habits. So, take your pick as to which you prefer. So, here are the 4 things we're focusing on in the clubhouse. The first thing that we do is get really clear on separating and understanding the difference between the end game habit and the right now habit. So for example, to use myself as an example again, I eventually want to get to the point where I am just like journaling my heart out. I would love to like wake up in the morning and journal for a little. My therapist has me journal in the moment whenever I'm feeling an anxiety attack or something like that. So in the moment, but then also evening routine. I love my nighttime journaling. Like I would love to be spending like an hour or more a day in total in my journal, in my notebook. I would love that. But that's not going to happen right away when for the past several months I've barely written in a notebook at all. Not going to happen. So while that might be the end game, right now I'm just trying to take a small bite of that. And so I'm personally starting with trying to journal 5 minutes a day, and I just wrote a daily recap prompt for myself to follow. And yeah, I'm just doing that instead of trying to go from 0 to an hour a day. I always say, and this is a big theme in everything we do in the clubhouse, our small steps are how you get where you want to go. Think of this new beautiful habit that you want to build as like a cake. If you try to eat that whole cake right away, you are going to get so sick. Instead, take a few small bites, then start to take bigger bites. Train your stomach, get used to the taste of the frosting and all the sugar. This analogy was not supposed to make me hungry, but it did. The second thing that is really core to building happy habits is tricking our brains. So I don't like to wait until I've done this thing for 30 days in a row to reward myself. Because if you're starting day one of a new habit and you're not gonna like reward yourself or recognize yourself or motivate yourself until like day 7 or whatever, until the end of a streak, your motivation can like... So instead, my suggestion is to do something fun or rewarding or just a little way to treat yourself every single day after you do the habit. This is just a way to like trick your brain into really learning that like, hey, brain, good things happen when you remember to journal. So journal. And it doesn't need to be anything fancy or cost money or even cost time. So one thing that I suggested for someone who is trying to build a workout habit and doesn't really have a lot of time or money for, fun rewards, I said, just take a really long, relaxing shower afterwards. That's just a way to be totally relaxed and at peace. It'll feel good. Your brain will be happy. Your body will be happy. And it's literally just something small. You're literally just tricking your brain into saying, gotta do this habit every day. Because when I do, these exciting, relaxing, whatever, good things happen. And the reward thing is something that also I'm seeing people struggle the most with. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to post questions in the comments. We are all about starting small with building new habits, both in what you start out with as the daily action, as well as a little bit of a reward every day. The third key to building happy habits is that we don't just stop at small treats. We also go full out treat yourself from time to time, especially since this routine, since the Happy Habit Challenge coincided with the actual literal treat yourself day from Parks and Rec. You can be sure I posted all of the Tom Haverford and Donna memes in the clubhouse. It's not enough to just try to give yourself a small little treat every day because you do want to keep yourself motivated and going and have something to work towards in the future. Ooh, perspective in the future. So, in addition to the small treats, we do set goals for streaks. So for example, I bought a Groupon deal for a massage, but I am not using it until I have journaled 30 days in a row. Bigger things like that are a great way to stay motivated and keep working and keeping that streak up. The whole don't break the chain thing that I'm sure that you've heard of that is often attributed to Jerry Seinfeld, but he's actually, I heard him interviewed once where he was asked about this and he was like, it's not bad advice, but it's not mine. Finally, speaking of not breaking the chain and that whole analogy that you've probably read about on some traditional productivity blog, the fourth key to building happy habits is tracking and sharing your progress. It helps you stay accountable both to yourself to track progress on a journal or an app or whatever works for you, a Post-it, whatever. And then it's also really motivating to be sharing your progress and accountability with other people. And to be able to we all need a little bit of external validation sometimes, don't we? So it's really great to be able to get that rah-rah cheerleading from the sidelines, which is again why I love building new habits with the clubhouse so much. Because we were just all in there posting every day, like, yo, I just did my journaling for the day and I just really, really loved it. Or, today I didn't meditate in the morning, but I wanted to save it and I really needed that peace later in the day, so I did it later. And so we're just all helping each other take these small steps and celebrate every single little bit of progress. And it's making it, I know, so much easier for me. That's basically it. Once again, if you have any questions about building happy habits, about the challenge that we are doing inside of the clubhouse, whatever, comment and I will get back to you as soon as I see it. And until next week's Brighter broadcast, peace out.